Hi, I'm Christine Sorensen, the Pastoral Minister here at the Church of the Risen Savior. Have you been feeling as if you have hit the wall when it comes to the pandemic? Well, you are not alone. So many people that I encounter, family, friends, and our staff, myself included, are ready to be done. For almost a year, we have been living in times that are best described as surreal. Whoever thought we would be quarantined for so long? We've just begun our sacred Lenten season, and many of us may be thinking, I've been doing Lent for the past year. We in the United States, along with our global brothers and sisters, continue to live in the awareness of this before now unimaginable pandemic. For us as a nation, we have also experienced racial unrest, economic and job insecurity, the insurrection at our Capitol building in Washington, D.C., natural disasters, wildfires, flooding, and destruction caused by hurricanes, and presently the ice storms that are causing devastation in our southern states. These are difficult times. Therefore, we may be experiencing a range of many difficult and draining emotions: sadness, grief, isolation, anger. Most of us are experiencing loneliness right now, from children to elders. Though we may be quarantining with our family and not by ourselves, we may still be experiencing loneliness. Why? What are we lonely for? We're probably lonely for the predictability of life as we knew it pre-pandemic, the consistency of our lives, where we live days without this crisis. We may feel lonely for joy and peace, socializing face-to-face with family and friends, the ability to travel or simply go out for groceries without concern for our health, learning in a classroom setting with our friends. For children, the loneliness for the fun of sleepovers and face-to-face birthday parties. For adult children whose parents are in senior living facilities or care facilities, there is a struggle with the inability to be physically present to their loved one. Visiting by waving through windows at each other is something, but it does not fill the need for face-to-face presence completely. Many of us feel exhausted or do not have the energy for what were our favorite activities. This is a reality that is out of our control, and we have the desire to normalize it somehow. Our goal is to persevere with something we did not want or ask for and come out the other side to whatever our new normal will be. I'm using the word we quite a bit because that is one of the realities about this pandemic. We are all experiencing this. We are not alone in this reality. If we contemplate this, the reality of our interconnectedness, it may provide us with some relief. It can be very helpful to give ourselves over to the mystery we are experiencing rather than resisting it. Crying, meditating, exercising, praying are some methods that can be helpful. I found the Serenity Prayer is one that is very fitting for these times. Jesus gives us an example of this giving over in his agony in the garden. In Matthew chapter 26, verse 42, we read, "Withdrawing a second time, he prayed again, 'My Father, if it is not possible that this cup pass without my drinking it, your will be done.'" This is an example for us of what it is like to surrender. We don't want to live like this in social isolation, but we have to for the greater good. Theologically, we Christians hear the language of Paschal mystery, the suffering, death, and resurrection of Jesus. We celebrate this mystery in its fullness during Holy Week. This cycle of living, dying, and rising again is a pattern we've all seen in myriad ways in our own lives, and it is a pattern we are all living out now. Think of it as living in Holy Saturday time, that time between death and new life. Reflect on how the disciples of Jesus must have felt following Jesus' passion and death. the anxiety, fear, and shock of what they were experiencing. Certainly, many of them experienced a numbness and loneliness that grief can bring. What we know and where our faith lies is that Easter and resurrection follow the Passion and death commemorated on Good Friday and the in-between time of Holy Saturday. Like Holy Saturday, these times and what we are feeling is transitional. There will be a new thing, a new reality. We are just not there yet. So, what can we do to care for ourselves? We can be attentive to building our emotional resilience. In an article by family therapist and wellness coach Elizabeth Scott, she states, "Emotional resilience refers to one's ability to adapt to stressful situations or crises. More resilient people are able to roll with the punches and adapt to adversity without lasting difficulties. Less resilient people have a harder time with stress and life changes, both major and minor. Research shows that those who deal with minor stresses more easily also can manage major crises with greater ease." So, resilience has its benefits for daily life as well as for the rare major catastrophe. Scott says that people who are low in resilience can actually strengthen and develop it. She provides these suggestions, many of which you may have been practicing, on how to build your own resilience, but they bear repeating. Number 1, build connections with other people. Prioritize your relationships and reach out to others by joining community-based groups in your area. Because of quarantining, this takes creativity on our part. Though we may not be able to be physically present, we can connect through phone calls, cards, and letters, through technology, for example, Zoom gatherings. Number 2, manage your thoughts. Work on maintaining a hopeful outlook and accept that change and setbacks are part of life. This is not always easy, but do not be discouraged when some days are not as easy as others. There is enough stress without being hard on yourself. As Scott notes, the important thing is to keep working toward your goals. Number 3, take care of yourself. Foster wellness by taking care of your mind and body. Eat well, stay physically active, and avoid unhealthy coping mechanisms. Here's an interesting tip. A therapist told me that putting our face into a basin of icy cold water or covering our face with a cold washcloth can reset our central nervous system. In my own case, I have personally found that laughter, looking at pictures of my grandchildren, and adequate rest are crucial. We hear daily reports on the availability of vaccines. Many of us know people who have been vaccinated, and now we can anticipate getting vaccinated ourselves. There is hope. It's hard to be patient, but keep an eye on the prize. Let's remember that we are all in this together. It's important to reach out to others when you are feeling alone. Finally, let us continue to hold each other in prayer, and hold in your hearts this verse from the prophet Isaiah. "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand."